Hi guys, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to look at one of my larger portulacaria afras or dwarf jade trees. This one, if you've been following along, this is one that I purchased a year or so ago, I think, and it got attacked by the squirrels. You can still see one of the big wounds here where the squirrel decided to make a meal out of it anyway. But it's starting to heal back a little bit. But now, in my other video, I called it's now my lightning strike tree. So it's a simulated lightning strike. So that's what we're going with. We're not going to mention the squirrels anymore. But yeah, here was the biggest part. It did get some of the roots, but they're kind of pretty much recovered. But really like the shape of this tree. Got a nice root flare. You can see, based on my hand, it's probably a good 2-3 inches across, probably 2-inch, maybe at least 1.5 inch trunk thickness there, and it's got some decent movement as you go up the tree. I've got some tie wires here, or guy wires, just to tie the limbs down into a more horizontal shape. Might be able to take those off, but it's not really biting in or anything, so we'll just kind of see what we do with those later. But just kind of looking at the tree, give you a little spin around here. The back development's not quite as much as the front now, just because it's the way it's positioned. I'll flip it around when I get it back out on my bench. But I'm really trying to develop these pad layers. So I want to stay up on the pruning just so I can create that ramification. So we're just going to take, like I said, it's not going to take very long today. Just quick maintenance prune, just to knock some of these longer shoots back and create more branching on the individual layers and pads. So, and this is, to me, this is kind of the fun, relaxing part. When you've got a tree that's kind of developed the way you want, where you can just kind of go in and each time you prune it, just kind of relax, and as you're pruning, just kind of inspect it, get real close to it, look at the branch structure, anything else that may be going on with the tree. Like this one, I can tell I've got some, as you can tell from the beginning of the video, all my trees are outside now, and I've got a few spider webs on this guy. So I've got to keep an eye on that. I did treat it. I've got some insecticidal soap. I've got some mite spray, and then I do use a little bit of systemic stuff just to keep the bugs at bay. It's kind of funny. I had a little lizard that was living inside my cage. I've got kind of a net structure around my trees just to keep the squirrels off now. And I had a little lizard living in there, but I haven't seen him for 2 or 3 weeks. So he must have escaped or something. But I'm noticing a lot more bugs on my trees now. So I kind of enjoyed having him around as a natural pest repellent. But I think he's moved on to greener pastures, evidently. And I'm starting to see more bugs on my trees now. So I got to take care of them myself. But maybe we'll get another little lizard to show up. Yeah, like I said, I'm really trying to increase the ramifications, so I'm taking some of these back so they'll continue to branch out. But it's really come along quite nicely in the year or so that I've had it, and I'll try to show a picture. I think it's just been 1 year. But I'll try to show a picture earlier on where it was a little more sparse and bare. where I kind of did some initial structure pruning and initial development on it. And I'll try to link that video either down below or at the end of this one, that little box that pops up after you watch this video. You can go back and kind of watch the initial one to see how this started, because you can see I took off some pretty good sized trunks. Here they were just kind of growing out all over the place, but you know, where I got this from, I really liked it because it had a decent shape to it, but it still had all the branches on it. It wasn't like topped off or, you know, really pruned down, so I could kind of do what I want with it, which was nice. Because I don't like the trees where if you buy a tree and it's already been pruned either for shipping or just space on the growers' benches or however they grow them, to where it doesn't give you a lot to work with. And you spend the first couple years just kind of growing branches, but this one already had decent branches, so it's nice. And as trees do, the top growth is a lot more vigorous, so I'm going to take these back a little more aggressive. I know some of those are probably out of the frame, but you can see they've grown up a good 6 to 8 inches or so. So I'm just taking those back. But I do hit the tops of the trees a little more aggressive, just because that's where they want to grow. And the top is pretty well, it's pretty nice and thick, so I don't really need to thicken that up any. Lower branches up a little bit in development. Just trying to maintain that kind of a triangle dome structure, so that's what I'm looking at. Just to gotta let some of these kind of maybe get a little wider out here, just to kind of maintain that. This side's looking pretty good, but we'll get there. Bonsai care is a marathon, not a sprint, so it just takes takes a little time. But I love these portulacaria. They grow so fast. You can prune them. I think this is the second or third pruning this year on this guy. They slow down in the winter time, but since I've had it outside, they really take off, at least here in Texas anyway, where it's nice and sunny and hot. We're getting ready to hit our summer stride, to where the temperatures will hover mid upper 90s and then dip into the hundreds and very little rain. So I don't like it so much, but the trees love it. So yeah, we're starting to get there. Could probably bring this guy down even a little bit more. And some of these others, this would probably come down, maybe. Wasn't really planning on wiring anything today. do like when the branches kind of droop a little bit, it just gives it the appearance of age. So I just think it would look much better if I could get it to droop down a little bit. I wouldn't really have to wire clear out here. I could just, if I could get that main part down just a little bit. If you think about it for a minute, and we'll see if I want to get my wire out and start into that. Yeah, it probably looks okay without it, but just that little movement I think would improve it just a bit. Yeah, I think, let me see if I can get a little piece of wire here and see if we can bring that guy down a little bit. And then maybe bring it on up here to pull this guy down. If I need that thick of wire or not. Let me see if I've got another piece. I got this other piece here I think might, yeah, I think I can make this work. And go on up. If I go around a couple times and up there, I think that would probably work. Give it a shot anyway. So I'm going to go here. And then around this branch. Go ahead and get this one up to anchor it in. There we go. That'll work. And then we'll bring this piece up here. And around, and then get it onto this branch and bring it down a bit. That works. Yeah, I think that works. I brought this guy down here where it's a little more horizontal. the extra wire off. Yeah, much better, I think. And I think that might just about do it for today's session on this tree. And I'm going to leave these on just for safe measure. They're not biting in anywhere, so just bending this one forward a little bit just to help fill in the space. There. I think that's, take this down a bit. Yeah, liking that. Maybe a little bit more off the top. Much better. All right, I think that's going to do it. Let me give you a quick spin around here. There's the front. There's the left side. There's the back. Right side. And back to the front. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.